Hello and welcome everyone to the week ahead commodity report for the 28th of January to the 1st of February 2019, presented by myself, Phil Carr, at the Gold and Silver Club. So of course today we will be reviewing gold, silver, platinum and oil prices for the week ahead. And we've certainly seen some explosive moves over the last week, and we finally have a resolution here on the consolidation that we've seen recently on the precious metals, with gold jumping over 1.7% on Friday, breaching 7-month highs, now surpassing $1,300 per ounce, as we continue to see the US dollar slide ahead of next week's US Federal Reserve meeting, where the central bank is widely expected to leave interest rates unchanged. Meanwhile, silver prices also broke out on Friday, up 2.8% on the day, breaking out to 2-week highs as the US dollar is under pressure here before next week's Federal Reserve meeting. Oil prices also on Friday had another uptick here. Oil prices are now up over 17% so far in January, with pressure building to the upside as political turmoil in Venezuela threatened to tighten crude oil supplies, pushing US oil back above $53 per barrel. So with that, let's move over to the charts and we'll talk you through the key levels that we're looking at next week. Firstly, let's move over to gold. And of course, last week we finally had this resolution of the price action which has been coiling on gold over the last month, where we have seen this consolidation between $1,275 up to $1,300. And on Friday, we finally had the breakout. As we mentioned in last week's report, all eyes on the European Central Bank announcement last Thursday. Historically, that is a major catalyst with gold prices. And of course, on Friday, this is where we've seen this big push higher, over a 200-point move from the lows on Friday. So over a $20 move for gold to the upside, breaking out 1.74% on Friday, clearing above a lot of that resistance. And now the big question, of course, going into next week is what gold will do next. So what you want to note here on the weekly chart certainly is gold has now broken and closed above $1,300 per ounce. And because we have broken above that level, now what we would be targeting in terms of the next key levels, we have the next zone of resistance for gold residing at $1,308 per ounce. Above that is then $1,320. If we take this out even higher time frame, and for example we have a look at gold on the monthly chart here, this will really become quite apparent what the overall price structure is doing here. We've had this basing formation which has been going on now for the last 4 months with gold. You also need to note in terms of what gold normally does with respect to performance over the month of January and February. So historically, the month of January, the average performance for gold is 3%. 3% to the upside, and over February is 2%. So far, this January 2019, gold is up 1.74%, and it still has the potential to drive higher next week. Definitely keep an eye on gold here, because now it has broken and closed above 1,300. And if you look at this within the normal week-to-week 200-point range for gold, we could certainly see the potential for gold to then springboard higher and then make a move back towards 1,308 to $1,320 per ounce. And of course, if we breach above those levels and we have a strong February as well, that's where gold could really then start to accelerate to the upside and make a move back towards these swing highs going back to December of 2017. So for me, gold should definitely be on your radar as we go into next week. Then moving over to silver, we discussed silver as well in detail on last week's report. What I found really interesting is that we did find support exactly where we anticipated buyers to come back into silver. So that was at $15.15 to $15.20. We discussed that on last week's report. That's where we perceived buyers would likely come back into silver, and we saw silver holding above $15 per ounce, and that's exactly what's happened. In fact, on Friday, silver broke out over 2.8% to the upside. The usual performance of silver over the month of January is a gain of 5%, and February is usually 3%. That's the average return that we tend to see over these months. January and February are some of the strongest months of the year for the precious metals. So as we go into next week, we've found support where you would really anticipate silver to hold here, which has been very strong support going back to July of 2017, also July of 2018, and we've springboarded off that level on Friday as well. And we've now got a bullish engulfing candle on the weekly, and what I would suggest price structure wise is this does look like a bull flag with the potential to drive higher as we go into next week. So the levels that I'm targeting next would be a breakout above the swing highs here. So essentially the potential for silver to continue to break out, retest $15.90. If we break above that level, the next major target would be $16 per ounce. And of course, note that next Wednesday we have the FOMC statement, and that could again be a catalyst for a large move here on the metals. That then brings me over to platinum. Platinum is a market we've discussed several times on the week ahead commodity report, where we've talked about the potential to buy in below $800 per ounce. That represents a great area of value for platinum. Certainly if you go back to the last time platinum was trading at these sort of levels, other than during the summer months where we saw peak trade war tensions, where platinum prices broke back towards $760 per ounce. Other than that, the last time platinum has been this cheap was going back to the credit crunch and credit crisis of 2008. That's the last time we've really seen platinum trading below those levels of $800 per ounce, and certainly it doesn't stay long under $800 per ounce. In fact, we've seen a lot of buying come in consistently around $780 to $790 for platinum. So on Friday here, you can see on the weekly chart, we've now got a bullish engulfing candle as well. A lot of support came in last week for platinum. Our long position on platinum is doing really well as we go into next week, up over 170 points. Now, platinum is up 1.66% on the month so far. Usually over the month of January, platinum delivers a return of 4%, and as we go into February, it's 3.7%. So therefore, I see the potential, particularly given the fact that we look like we've also got a bull flag here on platinum, is for the price action to continue to push higher, break above the swing highs, and we would be looking for a revisit back towards the 840 to 850 zone here on platinum. If we have a look at the overall price structure at the moment, certainly on the monthly chart as well, you can see where we're basing. We've got a bullish engulfing candle on the monthly here for platinum as well as we get towards the last week of January next week. So I would have certainly gold, silver and platinum. Watch those very closely going into next week. Then finally, moving over to crude oil. I've got oil on the monthly chart at the moment just to really show you the price action of oil on higher time frames. You can see now on the monthly chart where we do have a railroad price structure here, which is essentially a bullish price structure if, as we go into February, we do break above that $55 per barrel handle. You can see here where we certainly put in the lows over December at $42 per barrel, which were the lows going back to May of 2007. And of course, we saw a lot of consolidation at those lows as well back in May and June of 2016 as well. If we put oil on the weekly chart here, you'll note the V-shaped reversal price action, which is still in place. Oil springboarded again off that $52 per barrel level just last week. It has closed at $53.61 per barrel here. We continue to see hedge funds and money managers increase their net long positions. What I'm looking at here as we go into next week, and particularly as we go into February, which typically the month of February is bullish for oil. Normal return for oil over February is 3%. You have to bear in mind that over the month of January so far, oil has managed to surge over 17%. So that's been quite a significant move already. Last week, oil price action was fairly tightly range bound. So we moved between the ranges of just under $52 per barrel up to just above $54 per barrel. It does seem to be building up some pressure at the moment. So for me right now, pullbacks back towards 52, whilst that level holds, can be perceived as buying opportunities in order to look for another revisit back towards a neckline, which is around $55 per barrel. Of course, if we just do springboard higher and we don't get much of a retracement next week, then what I would be looking for is again the target of $55 per barrel. If we can break and close above $55 per barrel as we go into February, it really does open up the door for that next major level of resistance above, which is $60 per barrel. Finally, on the flip side of that, if oil was to break down, only if really it was to break and close below $52 per barrel and 50 below that on a weekly closing basis, and then continue to follow through to the downside, only then would I consider that really to be a bear flag with the potential to roll over back towards the swing lows. But at the moment, the price action is not suggesting that, and I want to see whether we will get some follow through, particularly around the FOMC statement next week as well, which can be a major mover for a lot of commodities. So really next week, you don't want to take your eye off the ball. You want to make sure that you are watching gold, platinum, silver and oil. There's going to be some great opportunities, in my opinion, on these markets around the FOMC statement. And as we get towards the end of next week and into February as well, these are great times of year to be trading commodities. So with that, if you would like to join us at the Gold and Silver Club and actually get access to all of the trades that we're taking and become a member of the Gold and Silver Club, there is an opportunity for you to do so. If you would like to join us at the Gold and Silver Club on our live trading room program, you get access to the following. You get access to exclusive live trading room webinars. You also get real-time trade alerts, as well as trading research and market insights, access to our private members academy website, and also support and mentoring. For more information, please visit www.jointhelivetradingroom.com. The link is also below this report in the description. So just click on the link, make an application, and we will of course get in touch with you ASAP. And do make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. That way you're kept updated on all of the latest commodity reports.